afternoon and welcome to Preteen Book Club. I'm Miss Hannah at the Seguin Public Library, and I'm going to be giving you recommendations for reading during the holiday season when you're hanging out at home. So these are cozy reads. So I have my hot chocolate here and my sweater. So I'm starting to feel cozy right now, right before the holidays. So all of these books I'm going to share with you are great for ages 9 to 12, and they all will make you feel warm and cozy, even if it's not that cold out yet. These are really good cozy reads. So the first one, I'm reading the second installment in this series called The Birchbark House by Louise Erdrich. Let me grab my notes here. So the adventure and the dangers of prairie life on the American pioneer era was introduced to thousands of readers in the Little House on the Prairie series by Laura Ingalls Wilder. And the same slice of history is seen in this book through the eyes of 7-year-old Omakayas. And she is an Ojibwa girl in the Ojibwa tribe in the same area of America that the Little House stories take place. Omakayas, her name means little frog because her first step that she took as a baby was literally a hop. So she was named Little Frog. Readers of this whole series, especially the first one, will be riveted by the details of daily life in a Native American family, just like we saw the details of Laura's family in Little House in the Big Woods. And so this family, this book goes into detail of how the family does tanning of moose hides, picking berries in the forests, and scaring crows from the cornfield. Those are as commonplace as encounters with bear cubs and fireside ghost stories. So this one has cozy written all over it, and there are 3 or 4 sequels. So if you like this one, you can keep reading. This is the second one called Chickadee, another great installment. So I'll put those on display here. Again, that's called The Birchbark House. Moving on to a very adventure-oriented book. This is great for the older end of the preteen spectrum, and even teens have enjoyed this series. I grabbed the second book because the first one is checked out, but this is called The Mysterious Benedict Society by Trenton Lee Stewart. And this installment I have is The Mysterious Benedict Society and The Perilous Journey. But the series begins with an ad in a newspaper, and the ad says, "Are you a gifted child looking for special opportunities?" Dozens of children respond to that ad in the newspaper and then are put through a series of mind-bending tests and puzzles. And you as the reader can take these tests too, which is really fun. But only 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, succeed in these tests. And their challenge, once they pass those tests, is to go on a secret mission that only the most intelligent and most inventive children could complete. To accomplish it, they will have to go undercover at the Learning Institute for the Very Enlightened, where the only rule is that there are no rules. That sounds great. But what they'll find in the hidden underground tunnels of the school is more than your average school supplies. Very mysterious. So if you're gifted, creative, or happen to know Morse code, or any other trivia, really, they could probably use your help. These are really, really good books. And again, I've had teen volunteers actually recommended that book to me that they read when they were a little bit younger. So I think 12, 13-year-olds will really enjoy that series. And I don't know, I think there's something about reading adventure books like that can really warm you up on a cold day and keep things exciting when you might be stuck at home right now. Okay, my next book is another adventure. This is called Princess Academy by Shannon Hale. Shannon Hale has written a lot of great stories, and this is another one. So the main character is 14-year-old Miri, and while attending a strict academy for potential princesses with the other girls from her mountain village, she lives in the mountains, Miri discovers unexpected talents and connections to her homeland. This is a really great read for anybody that likes adventure, fairy tales, and friendships. Don't let yourself, if you're not always into princess stuff, that's okay. This really isn't just all about Disney princesses. Don't let the title mislead you. It really is an adventure kind of folktale, fairy tale story. Hale has really good themes in this book, like the opportunities that education can give you, the importance of being kind to others, and strength in adversity. And she weaves all those themes into a really exciting adventure story that includes a cruel headmistress of the school the girls don't like, mountain bandits, and even telepathy. So yes, this is a very interesting read. And there are sequels to this one too, yet another series. All of these have been part of a series that I've shared with you so far. Next is this one, As Brave as You. So this is more of a quiet read, but still really funny, actually. This is by Jason Reynolds, and this is about two brothers, Jeanne and Ernie. And they are from Brooklyn, the big city, Brooklyn in New York. But this summer, their summer's full of surprises. For Jeanne, the first surprise is that he and his big brother Ernie are leaving Brooklyn for the very first time to spend the summer with their grandparents all the way in Virginia, in the country. Their parents live in a very rural area. The second surprise comes when Jeanne figures out that their grandfather is blind. He had no idea his grandfather was blind. Thunderstruck and being a very curious kid, Jeanne just starts asking Grandpa all sorts of questions. The questions are numbered throughout the book about how he covers it so well. I even opened up to a page full of questions. So there's a lot. This book looks thick, but it's because there's a lot of pages like this that just list Jeanne's very curious questions for his grandpa. Like, how does he match his clothes if he's blind? How does he know where to walk? How does he cook with a gas stove? Isn't that dangerous? Pour a glass of sweet tea without spilling it? Jeanne thinks Grandpa must be the bravest guy he's ever known. But he starts to notice that his grandfather never leaves the house. Never leaves the house. And when he finds the secret room that Grandpa is always disappearing into, a room so full of songbirds and plants that it's almost as if it's been pulled inside out, he begins to wonder if his grandfather is really so brave after all. Then Ernie lets him down in the bravery department. Remember, Ernie is Jeanne's big brother. It's Jeanne's 14th birthday, and Grandpa says to become a man, you have to learn how to shoot a gun. Jeanne thinks that is awesome, until he realizes Ernie has no interest in learning how to shoot. None, nada. Dumbfounded by Ernie's reluctance, Jeanne is left to wonder, is bravery and becoming a man only about proving something, or is it just as important to own up to what you won't do? It's maybe what you're scared to do. Very, very good story. Okay, let's see, what's next? Okay, I have 3 more here. I'm going to leave that one for last. The next 2 are graphic novels, and this one's brand new. It has the new book sticker there at the bottom. This is called Stepping Stones, and full color illustrations inside. This one's neat because the main character, Jen, is an artist, and let me find an example. Well, here's chapter 1. She's always doodling in her notebook. And Jen has to cope with the choices that all the adults in her life make, that she has no control over. And the big one is that she moves from the city to a farm where she now has farm chores to do, including taking care of the chickens, cleaning the chicken coop, and she's not super excited about that. She misses the big city, she misses her dad in the city, and then she also definitely did not plan on getting 2 new sisters. But they make the most of it, and they get to run their farm stand at the weekly, farmer's market. And they discover they kind of like being part-time sisters. They're part-time sisters because they're just part-time on the weekends. Here's another one of Jen's maps. So I think readers you'll enjoy looking at all the details on the maps that she draws, from the farmer's market to the farm and even to her bedroom. She has a map. This one's not going to stand up, so we'll just put it down. Okay, another one that's brand new is Stargazing by Jen Wang. Oh, I forgot to say that Stepping Stones is written and illustrated by Lucy Knisely. And Stargazing is written by Jen Wang. This one is just another really good story about friendship. And so there's a girl named Moon. I'm sorry, her name is Moon. Super cool. And she's really impulsive and artistic and confident. But the main character, Christine, is not as confident, and she cares a lot about her grades, and she wants to make sure that she's following all the rules. Moon isn't really like that, but they become friends anyway, and then Moon introduces Christine to K-pop, and they decide they're going to join the school talent show, and they're going to do a K-pop dance. So they really are kind of a good influence on each other. And there's something that happens later in the book that makes them have kind of a fight, but luckily they get the chance to apologize to each other. Another really good friendship story, a cozy read, and a really quick read. Again, that's full color illustrations inside. And those can be found, when they have the new book stickers, they can be found on the new book displays down in the children's area. Okay, and finally we have Bayou Magic by Jewell Parker Rhodes. This one's set in the bayous of Louisiana. And another good friendship story. I picked a lot of adventure stories and a lot of friendship stories. Those are all really cozy to me. So the main character in this one is Madison. She goes by Maggie for short. And she is one of 4 sisters. And each summer the sisters take turns spending the summer with their grandmere in the Bayou of Louisiana. And it's finally Maddie's turn, and she's a little scared because her sisters have maybe exaggerated about how mean grandmere is. They've even hinted that she might be a witch. When Maddie goes, she discovers that there's a lot of fun things in the bayou, though, and she kind of likes grandmere. And maybe there's even, I don't know, some mermaids in the bayou. And I think Maddie is also a really brave heroine, kind of like this book, As Brave as You, deals with bravery. This one does a lot too. And so that is Bayou Magic. There was one more I was going to talk about, and it's checked out, but I'm going to give it a little talk too because it's one of my favorites. It's called The Penderwicks. I know a lot of you preteens have already read The Penderwicks, probably because I've recommended it to you, but it's a series by Jeanne Birdsall, and they just wrapped it up with the 5th book last year, so it's completed. Sometimes it's frustrating when you're in the middle of a series and you can't finish it. Well, this one's done. But the first Penderwicks book is just called The Penderwicks, and that's the family's last name. So this will be a summer that Penderwicks will never forget. 4 sisters, 4-year-old Batty, which is short for Elizabeth, 10-year-old Jane, the writer, 11-year-old Skye, the scientist, and 12-year-old Rosalind, who takes care of them all, besides their dad, of course, that are all in for a wonderful summer surprise. Their dad has booked them a vacation on the beautiful grounds of Arundel, which is a magnificent estate somewhere in New England. I don't remember what state this takes place in, but the sisters' discoveries at Arundel include a treasure-filled attic, some tame rabbits on the grounds, and most importantly, Geoffrey Tipton, who is the son of Arundel's owner. He lives in a big mansion estate while the girls are staying in a little cottage on the grounds. And Geoffrey turns out to be one of the best companions on their adventures when they have to rescue some animals and get into a little bit of trouble. Each of the 5 books actually focuses on a different sister as they grow up, and takes place over the course of over a decade, really. So it's a really great family saga. Again, that's the Penderwicks by Jeanne Birdsall. And those are all of my cozy recommendations for today. There's so many you could read, so if you want more recommendations, just come find me at the library.